Cannabis is the most popular drug in Britain, with over 2 million people smoking it regularly. And over half of all young people have tried it at least once. But how much harm does cannabis actually cause? In this series, I want to see the lengths some people go to get it.
I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to be a dealer, it's just for me to smoke.
So what, you go burgle people's houses and stuff?
Yeah.
Find out how and why they use it.
So that's just enough, just to take away a bit of pain.
Yeah. And discover exactly where it comes from.
I mean, this is going on all over the country, and you wouldn't know that this is happening.
Look, I'm not going to lie, I, like millions of other young people, have smoked cannabis. I never got into it heavily or anything, and it never seemed to cause me any personal harm. So I'm curious to find out if that is the same for everyone else. I'll be with the police as they smash illegal cannabis grows and stop the criminal gangs behind them.
I'm arresting you for producing cannabis.
We've been busted, mate.
Yeah.
See the border agency crack down on cannabis smuggling.
It's ridiculous. We'll keep pulling more and more and more and more and more and more drugs out.
And fly halfway around the world to see what happens when cannabis is legalised for medical use.
I was surprised myself. I thought, smoking cannabis for asthma?
Is cannabis as bad as some people say?
It's definitely addictive. I don't know how anyone can say it's not addictive.
Or can it actually be beneficial?
If I didn't have cannabis, I'd either be in prison or I'd be dead.
I want to find out what's really the harm in cannabis. A year after leaving EastEnders, I ended up in the papers after this photo of me smoking cannabis appeared on Facebook. I was pretty surprised by the reaction I got, and that's made me want to discover the truth about what still is a controversial and illegal drug. I'm starting out in South London, where I'm on my way to meet a young cannabis smoker who says he's the envy of his mates. That's him on the bike, 17-year-old Tom. Unlike his friends, he doesn't hide his cannabis use, not even from his parents. Oh, and the reason you can't see Tom's face isn't because he's scared of the police. He's worried being identified might affect his chances of getting into a good university next year.
My mum and dad are like the only mum and dad that I know that like properly allow it in the house. Like I know people whose mum and dad tolerate it, but not that will smoke a spliff with their son sort of thing. Like I don't mind. My dad's comfortable like smoking with me.
Oh really?
Yeah,
you smoke your dad?
Yeah, my first joint was from my dad. So.
Really? How old were you when you gave you your first joint?
14, 15. I just picked up and I asked him one time, Dad, can I smoke some pot in the house? And I was so nervous. I was just like, because I had loads of friends around as well, and he was just like, yeah, sure, mate, as long as I can have a bit. And I was just like, oh, jeez, really? Just like, and then it all just really started from there, to be honest.
It was a bit of a shock when your dad did that, though.
I was expecting a no, get out, sort of, get your friends out now. We need to have a talk about this sort of thing. But it was just like, no, yeah, sure, mate, do what you want.
I can imagine to some young people, Tom's life sounds a little bit too good to be true. So I'm going round to meet his parents to see for myself.
Hello, Tom.
All right.
All right? How's it going? All right. This is your mum and dad. Hello. I'm James, by the way. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Hello. Andy, nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Claire. Sorry about the garlic.
The thing that he was talking to me about that's quite alien to me is the fact that when he first smoked cannabis, it was you that introduced it to him.
I provided him with his first ever taste of it, yeah.
So out of the ordinary to me, though.
Well, apparently so, but it's all terribly suburban, really. I mean, this isn't like sort of, junkies in New York. This is a little bit of pot in Peckham.
I couldn't imagine sitting down with my mum and doing something like that. I mean, what's it like to sit with Tom and having a joint?
It's quite sweet, really. It's nice. I like it.
So, Tom's allowed to smoke cannabis at home, have his mates around and smoke it, even smoke it with his parents. Are there any ground rules for Tom?
The ground rules are not school days. It's as simple as that, really.
For Tom and his mum and dad, cannabis doesn't seem like a big deal at all.
Go on, Dad, give us a pinch of baccy.
Yeah, right.
How much do you want me to put in?
Normal.
For you or me?
For you.
All right. So all of it?
I can see you're sort of sitting there observing at the moment, Andy. You're getting a sort of sense of pride of your son here rolling quite a decent joint.
I taught him everything he knew, James. He'd be nowhere without me.
Is there any sort of etiquette when smoking with each other? Who smokes first? Who rolls?
Roller's rights. Rollers' rights.
I would say that is boys. Entirely.
Are girls more polite about it?
Yes.
There will be people that are watching this that are just out of interest who have never smoked cannabis, and they'll be quite interested in actually what you're feeling right now.
It's nicer than alcohol. Tom and I have had this conversation, and I have never, ever, ever been in a group of people who, getting stoned, somebody's got stroppy. If anything, it makes you feel laid back and loving.
It's Dad's turn to roll the next family joint.
How's your dad's joint comparing to your own there, Tom? What's your review?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'll give him a 7 out of 10.
It seems surreal to be sat with a teenager and his parents watching them all get stoned.
This is not stupid. You legalise the stuff.
Really, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
What I found really fascinating was what Tom's dad said, and Tom himself, about the fact that they've bonded over smoking cannabis, that they're really close to each other over it. I mean, I suppose some dads do that with their sons by going to kick a football over the park, or maybe even just enjoying a beer on a Friday night, and they do it through cannabis.
So what is it this family are actually getting high off? Cannabis contains active chemical ingredients. The one that gets you high is called THC, making you feel drowsy, lightheaded and altering your perceptions. But there's an important counterbalance in the plant. It's CBD, or cannabidiol, and can make you feel alert and creative. Plants bred for a higher concentration of THC are known as skunk. 10 years ago, THC levels varied between 3 and 15%. But now, stronger strains can have up to 20% THC, and with less CBD. The problem is users often just don't know how strong the weed is. That's a problem that some young people try to avoid. Not content to just smoke cannabis, they want to grow it for their own use. They're known as hobby growers. So I've come to this cafe to meet Owen, a 19-year-old who's going to start growing cannabis for himself. I want to find out what he enjoys about smoking this illegal drug and why he wants to take things to the next level.
Owen? Hi, James. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Owen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. You take a seat. What do you do, Owen?
I'm a student at uni at the moment, in my second year.
I just want to find out from someone like you, obviously enjoying smoking cannabis.
Yeah.
Like, what does it feel like? What's the good side?
The best part of it is when you come home after a busy day and you're tense, you're a bit stressed, and that first toke on the joint, it just chills you out. You're instantly relaxed and just in a good place immediately.
How would you go about getting your weed?
It's a case of just like asking around, seeing who's got some contacts. Often it's a bit difficult, and since I've come to uni, there just doesn't seem to be the same quality of weed down here. There may be somewhere, but I can't find it. So I've sort of been thinking about starting growing it.
Really?
Yeah, it's the plan.
Can you show me?
Yes, yeah. Well, I've just bought the equipment.
Owen's agreed to show me the grow kit he's just bought off the internet, which is perfectly legal to buy.
So why don't you talk me through what's in all these boxes here, Owen?
Well, first we've got this. This is Grow Tent, which helps you get the right sort of environment for growing. This is a HPS bulb, which gives you the right sort of spectrum of light. There it is, pretty big. And this will also go through a carbon extractor.
Would it smell quite a lot if you didn't have that?
Well, yeah, towards the end of the grow, it apparently does get quite pungent.
Really?
So, yeah, this should...
Smells like weed, I take it, not just like soil and stuff?
No, it smells like weed.
OK.
So this will stop the neighbours getting suspicious.
How much does all this cost?
Well, I got all this as a kit, so you get a bit of a discount, obviously, if you buy everything together. And it was 400 quid.
OK. Like, if someone was to sit you down and say, like, come on, why are you doing this? Why do you feel the need to grow weed? You know, why can't you just get it off someone? Why have you got to perpetuate the problem by growing it?
I don't see it as a problem at all, and if anything, I think this is reducing harm. If I was buying weed off a dealer, I don't know where my money's ending up. It could be funding organised crime or terrorism, or you just don't know. Whereas with this, I know where my money's going. I'm doing it all myself, and no one else is coming to any harm. You know, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be allowed to do this. I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to be a dealer, it's just for me to smoke.
I can see Owen's point in not wanting to fund organised crime by growing weed himself. A small amount of cannabis, like an eighth, can cost around 20 quid on the street. And it's a lot cheaper to grow your own if you're a hard-up student. What he is planning to do is illegal, but it seems he's not alone. The internet has fueled an explosion in young people buying home-grown cannabis kits. Bizarrely to me, it's perfectly legal to purchase all the equipment in the UK.
Cannabis seeds, skunk seeds, there's ashtrays, bongs and hookers, books and magazines, bubble bags, I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, tons, rolling accessories, rolling papers and blunts, scales, seeds, snuff items, stash products. It's great, all stash products. Wow, wow.
It seems that everything you'd ever need is just a few legal clicks away.
Comprehensive. It's comprehensive, that's what it is. It's an absolutely comprehensive list of exactly what you're getting.
Some people even post videos of themselves showing off their green fingers.
And there's people indoors, outdoors, tips, guides, troubleshooting. If you've got a problem with your soil, you can find out how to deal with that on here. Even on your phone now, in the App Store, you type in cannabis and loads of stuff comes up.
It can take anything up to 4 months for a cannabis plant to grow. But self-sufficiency isn't the only thing which motivates these hobby growers.
Growing your own cannabis is seen as an ethical decision. Some people want to avoid that contact with a black market where they don't know where the cannabis is coming from. They don't know what's in the cannabis and they don't know what activities go alongside the importation and distribution of that cannabis. Growers are actually growing so that they can have varieties that are not as strong as what they can get on the black market. And your experienced or more knowledgeable users will pick and choose cannabis to suit their mood, to suit their preference. They'll know which types of cannabis are most likely to give them bad side effects and they will try and avoid that. And they'll know which types of cannabis give them the effects they want and they will try and secure that.
I want to see a small hobby grow for myself. But the grower's paranoid about being found out and is only letting me see it on the condition I don't reveal where I am or who they are. All they've done is explain the basics of their grow to me.
Okay, wow. So we've got the reflective materials on the side. I suppose that's to get the most out of all the light. We've got a couple of plants in there. They're quite young at the moment, I can see. They're quite small. We have a bottle here of yellow liquid, which is producing carbon dioxide, which I know from GCSE science, it's good for photosynthesis. And you've got a little fan there, and extraction system, which is going out there. I think that's feeding it out there, and you've got something coming in down here. I was talking to the person that this belongs to. I mean, this whole setup cost him like under 100 quid, including the seeds. I mean, this is going on all over the country and you wouldn't know that this is happening.
But this boom is not going unnoticed. Last year, police forces across the country uncovered nearly 7,000 cannabis cultivations. That means, on average, the police were busting around 120 illegal cannabis grows a week. I'm with Avon and Somerset Police on the first day of Operation Viscount, an intensive 4-week crackdown on larger commercial cannabis growers. Last time a similar operation saw cannabis with a street value of around £6 million seized and 68 people arrested. Whilst their focus is on smashing big commercial grows, anyone caught growing even a small amount is vulnerable.
Let's go. Stay there, there's a female upstairs.
To grow cannabis indoors, you need strong artificial light. This generates an abnormal amount of heat, which enables the police to use thermal imaging from surveillance helicopters to identify suspicious properties. But they don't always get it right.